David situation when it comes to Celeste Hernandez, and let me tell you, I've been deep down this rabbit hole, and what I just discovered is actually scaring me so bad, it's not even funny. Okay, so we know David's first show for his tour was on July 30th of 2025, and this is where fans were capturing that he had a whole funeral set up for this first show. Sure, you guys remember this video going all over everybody's For You pages right now because it was just really, really odd. He even has this obituary, but as you can see, Atami is the name, and in Japanese, this means pain. And Atami is actually his alter ego. And just stay with me because I'm about to play you a clip of him talking about this Atami alter ego and how he is an unaliver and all of this crazy stuff. As this date, February 2023 to August 2025. And this part really just made me feel unsettled because I started digging into the date because I found it really weird that people on Reddit, before they found out Celeste, were alleging that Celeste's friends lost communication with her in August. Here's that Reddit post that was going around, and they were talking about a girl named C that they were saying would go on trips to LA and that she was in 9th grade, and it turns out C's friends knew that David would allegedly pay them to keep their mouth shut about this relationship. Mind you, this Reddit post was before they identified Celeste as being the one in the trunk, but they knew somebody was in this trunk. So the day that they found out it was Celeste, somebody commented and said, your timelines don't match up because she's been missing since 2024. And this person responded, yes, she was missing for that long officially, but she still had friends who were in contact with her. Again, I'm not sure what her family life was like. It seemed very broken to me, which makes me believe she didn't want to go back home. What I meant was my sister and her friends lost all contact with her for over a month. Since early or mid-August, I'm not too sure. And then this part started making me more nervous because the neighbors that were across the street of David's house that was just searched by police where the Tesla was found was turned in by neighbors for being abandoned. Sources from that neighborhood said the car had been sitting in that spot on Bluebird Avenue for at least 3 weeks. Based off timelines from reports, we know that this car would have been towed in the early part of September because it sat in the tow yard for a few days before they noticed the smell coming out of it. And then on September 8th is when they would open that trunk and find who we now know is Celeste in that trunk. So the neighbors were saying that the car was sitting in the same spot for 3 weeks, which would take you to August. Now we're going to talk about David's alter ego Atami, because what he says in this interview about his alter ego sent chills up and down my spine.
I had the idea to kind of make this first music video introduce a character that I had been kind of ideating for a really long time. That's why you see him with the blindfold and the bloody shirt aesthetic and the bow tie. I'm really big into anime and I'm really big into manga. And I wanted to make my own manga series at one point. And I was writing a lot of poems and writing a lot of things for it. And a big part of that manga was an evil version of me named Atami, which means pain in Japanese. And he wears his blindfold, and he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went like I was a detective, and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden. And he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as a detective. So like when I was as a detective, I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself. And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think anything would come of it. Like it was in the vault for like months and months and months. And I introduced it for the first time on screen because I had the opportunity with music to kind of explore this idea further with the Romantic Homicide music video, and people were asking so many questions. I was like, yo, this is kind of fire, because like nobody would have ever heard of it if it wasn't for this music video. But Atami was a staple of this music video. You kind of see him throughout the entire thing. He's holding the knife with a bloody thing. You get the girl who's basically like the ghost of the person that he was his first victim in the manga.
At this point, it's like he's literally envisioning all of this, and I'm not saying that he for sure did it because he is still innocent until proven guilty, but that is absolutely crazy. It's like what he is talking about is now actually happening. There is no dang way. And now in this tour, he is talking about this alter ego now passed away August of 2025. Why he has this casket and everything set up on this very first show that he did. The same exact time frame, that neighbors are saying that car was parked across the street from where he lived, and also Celeste's friends are saying that is the last time they talked to Celeste was sometime in August. Now at this point, I am honestly really disturbed. If it comes out that David is in fact guilty at this point, it really could be premeditated. I feel like at this point, I have been way too far down this rabbit hole because it just keeps going and going, and I swear each time I am getting more and more disturbed. Well, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.